Quick recap before we move on. In the last module, we treated a Claude conversation as explicit state, a messages list with user and assistant turns. Then we added system prompts, so the application can steer behavior without hiding instructions inside the user message. This module builds on that. We will use system prompts, temperature, and streaming as practical controls for real Claude API applications. If this Claude API walkthrough is helping, like and subscribe so the next lesson is easy to find when you come back. Before we touch the notebook, set the application goal. A Claude API app has to do more than send text to a model. It needs a policy for response style, a dial for how much variation is useful, and a way to show progress while long answers are still forming. Those three choices make the difference between a demo request and an experience a learner or customer can actually use. In building with the Claude API, this module turns API controls into practical application behavior. Here is why this module matters. The Claude API is not just one request and one answer. Real applications need to shape how Claude responds, choose how much variety is useful, and keep users engaged while longer answers are being generated. Those are practical API fluency skills, and they also become a prerequisite for later Claude Certified Architect study. In the exercise notebook, 002_system_prompt.ipim starts with a simple request. Write a Python function that checks a string for duplicate characters. The messages list is empty, then the user message is added, and run all sends the request. This is intentionally ordinary because the lesson is about controlling output shape, not learning a new algorithm from scratch. Baseline here means the first Claude answer before any system prompt. The request is simple. Write a Python function that checks whether a string has duplicate characters. Claude returns a working function plus a title, docstring, argument notes, return notes, comments, and explanation. That verbose first run is the output we are trying to shrink. Now the exercise asks you to pause and make the steering explicit. Write a system prompt, pass it into the chat function call, assign Claude a role, and encourage it to respond as concisely as possible. The important move is not a clever user prompt. It is putting behavior guidance into the system channel where the application owns it. The solution passes a system prompt into chat. You are a Python engineer who writes very concise code. Now the notebook output is much closer to the target. Instead of a long walkthrough, the implementation is simply has_duplicates, returning whether len sets is less than lens. If your version did not match this exactly, that is totally fine. The skill is learning how to steer. System prompts steer the role and style. Temperature steers the sampling behavior. It is a parameter that controls how predictable or creative Claude responses feel. The key idea is simple. Claude still follows the prompt, but temperature changes how the model chooses among possible next tokens while generating text. This is the bridge from prompt wording into runtime behavior. The request can carry both instructions and generation settings. Before the temperature dial makes sense, we need the text generation loop. Give Claude a prompt like, "What do you think?" The input is tokenized into chunks. Claude predicts probabilities for possible next tokens, and then sampling chooses one of those tokens. The loop repeats until the full message is complete. When Claude sees "What do you think?" it is not choosing a whole sentence at once. After tokenization, the prediction step scores possible next tokens. In the source example, about is most likely, what is next, and of is, when, makes, and we remain possible. Sampling chooses one token, then the loop repeats. The next original step does not introduce new probabilities. It redraws the same values as a bar chart because percentages are easier to compare visually. The bars are sorted greatest to least only for the lesson. Claude is not running a separate sorting step. The chart is a teaching view of the selection probabilities. Now temperature enters as the control. It is a value from 0 to 1 that changes this distribution when you make the model call. Near 0, the top token becomes much more likely, so output feels deterministic. Near 1, probability spreads toward lower-ranked tokens, so the same prompt can produce more varied continuations. The interactive demo turns that idea into a slider. At temperature 0, about takes the whole chart, so the next token is deterministic. As the slider moves toward 1, the top choice drops and lower choices regain probability. The interface is showing the same prompt and the same candidate tokens, but a wider or narrower sampling distribution changes what Claude may pick first. At low temperature, the highest probability token can effectively crowd out the rest. In the teaching chart, about rises toward 100% while lower choices fall toward 0%. That is why low temperature is useful when you care about consistent factual behavior more than variety. At higher temperature, lower probability candidates become more plausible. The demo shows options like makes and we gaining room, with one lower option around 9%. That wider distribution can help creative work, brainstorming, and variation. It is not chaos, it is a broader sampling choice. The practical rule is to match temperature to the task. Low temperature, roughly 0.0 to 0.3, fits factual responses and extraction. Medium temperature, around 0.4 to 0.7, fits summarization, educational content, and problem solving. High temperature, around 0.8 to 1.0, fits brainstorming, creative writing, marketing ideas, and jokes. Low temperature is best when surprise is a cost. Factual responses, coding assistance, data extraction, and content moderation usually need Claude to stay close to the provided information. If you ask for specific fields from a document, you do not want creative phrasing. You want reliable extraction and repeatable behavior. Medium temperature is a good default when you want useful variation but still need structure. Summarization, educational content, problem solving, and creative writing with constraints often fit here. You get a little more flexibility in wording and approach without turning every answer into a high-variance brainstorm. High temperature is where exploration is the point. Brainstorming, creative writing, marketing content, and joke generation can all benefit from less common token choices. You should expect more variety between runs, and you should review the output for fit. The dial gives you candidates, it does not replace judgment. Adding temperature support is a small API contract change. The helper becomes def chat, messages, system equals none, temperature equals 1.0. The perms dictionary already includes model, max_tokens, and messages. Now it also includes temperature, so callers can choose the sampling behavior per task. If a system prompt is provided, the helper still adds perms system before calling client.messages.create. The return shape stays the same. The helper creates the message, then returns message.content.text, so the rest of your notebook does not need to know about the extra parameter. For this refreshed package, the visible model value is normalized to Claude Sonnet 4-6, verified against Anthropic model documentation on May 28, 2026. The default temperature remains 1.0. To test the effect, run the same movie idea prompt at temperature equals 0.0 and again at temperature equals 1.0. The low setting should feel more predictable. The high setting should allow more creative variation. But temperature does not guarantee different outputs every time. It changes the probability of getting them, so compare patterns across multiple attempts. Now shift from answer quality to waiting time. In a normal chat application, the user sends a question and sees an empty response region while Claude generates the full answer. The source example uses what is quantum computing and points out the practical UX problem. Responses can take 10 to 30 seconds, which feels broken if the interface shows no progress. The source chat window uses a simple question: what is quantum computing? The user presses send, the app sends the user message to our server, and our server calls Claude. In the standard path, the assistant message does not appear until the full response is ready. The important boundary is where your server waits on Claude before it can update the user-facing response region. That is the problem with standard responses. The server sends the user message to Claude and waits for the complete answer before sending anything back to the client. The text might eventually begin with quantum computing is, but the user does not see progress while the response is being built. With streaming enabled, the request is still one request, but the response arrives as a sequence of events. Claude can send an initial response, then text chunks like quantum, computing, and as they are generated. All of these events are parts of a single request, but the UI can update progressively. At the raw event level, streaming is a lifecycle. Message start says a new message is being sent. Content block start begins a block, usually text. Content block delta carries chunks related to the latest content block and is where generated text keeps arriving. Content block stop closes that block. Message delta updates message level information, and message stop marks the end. The important event for a typing chat interface is content block delta because those events contain the actual generated text. The other events are still useful. They tell you when the message starts, when a content block starts or stops, and when the full message is complete. A production app can use both text chunks and lifecycle metadata. The basic implementation begins by adding stream equals true to client.messages.create. In the notebook, messages starts as an empty list. Add _user_ message adds write a one-sentence description of a fake database, and then the return stream is iterated. Printing each event shows message _start, content block events, and text deltas, so you can see the raw stream before simplifying it. The raw event stream is useful for learning, but it is noisy. You can see a raw message start event with an ID like message _01 MQZV5 YUVHDFHM 3 HIMTMPC2C, role assistant, type message, and then a raw content block start event with type text. That is excellent for debugging. It is more detail than a normal chat UI needs. Thankfully, the Anthropic SDK can hide most of that event parsing when you only need text. Instead of manually inspecting every event, use messages.stream and iterate stream.text_stream. The UI code receives clean text chunks, while the SDK handles the raw event structure underneath. That abstraction is why most app code should start with the simplified interface before dropping to raw events. The code pattern is compact. In 004_streaming.ipimp, open A with client.messages.stream block with model, max_tokens, and messages. Then loop over stream.text_stream and print each text chunk with end equals. In a web app, that print call becomes the place where you send each chunk to the browser, WebSocket, or server-sent event channel. Streaming chunks are great for user experience, but your application often still needs the complete message. You may store the final assistant response in a database, inspect it for follow-up processing, or attach it to the next conversation turn. So the streaming API also gives you a way to recover the assembled final message. The final pattern combines both needs. While the stream is active, for text and stream.text_stream sends each chunk to your client. After streaming completes, final_message equals stream.get_final_message gives your app the complete assembled message for database storage, logging, evaluation, or later conversation turns. You get live feedback and a durable final record. The application boundary changes in a useful way. Before streaming, the response region stays empty until one full response comes back. During streaming, the server pushes chunks into that response region as Claude generates them. After the stream ends, final_message becomes the durable record you can store and reuse. This keeps the live chat and the stored conversation history aligned instead of forcing you to choose one. Put the three controls together and you get a stronger API mindset. A system prompt steers role and concision. Temperature steers sampling and variety. Streaming steers perceived latency and responsiveness. They are not separate trivia questions. They are app design tools for making Claude-powered experiences feel intentional. Before the next module, check that you can do 3 things. First, reduce verbose code output with a system prompt. Second, choose a temperature range based on the task instead of guessing. Third, stream text chunks with stream.text_stream while still keeping the complete message with get_final_message. Next, we move into structured data to structured data exercise. That section shifts from free-form text into schema-shaped outputs, so your application can rely on cleaner data boundaries. Keep today's controls in mind. Prompt steer behavior, temperature tunes variation, and streaming improves the weight while the next API block comes online. Structured outputs will make those controls easier to connect to real product workflows.